Here is my moving day outfit. Keeping it real fancy. All my stuff is getting packed in the truck. I can't believe it. So the movers came and my stuff is officially on its way to New York City. I've been at my mom's place for the last several days because it's going to take up to 2 weeks for my stuff to arrive in New York, and they just kind of give you a window of time. So it could arrive in a week, but it could also take 2 weeks as well. So I didn't want to fly out to New York and then just be sitting around with nothing there. So that's why my mom and I have waited. When I sat down and thought about it, I realized that my mom and I are spending basically an entire month together, which is really amazing. And that is not something I would have said when I was younger, but it's something that I really cherish now. And it has been so much fun just being with her and hanging out with her and Tato and Nugget and their little dynamic that they have. Today is my last day in LA, and tomorrow morning really early my mom and I and Tato are flying to New York. Today is actually filled with a pretty decent amount of goodbyes. I am getting ready to head out to lunch with my manager, and I'm just gonna be catching up with her. Then I have my goodbye dinner with my friends Kat, Carrie, and Eileen. So we're gonna be having a little girls' dinner together, and it's gonna be really yummy and fun, and I think it's just gonna be a great send-off to New York. It's early.
Our zones and our rows at this time. The doors will be closing shortly. Once again, if you're on flight number 296, the service is to Dallas. Please make your way to gate 54A. Doors will be closing shortly.
We made it. I'm a little bit delirious because we have all been up since 3:30 in the morning, but I'm really excited to finally be here, and it just feels really surreal. Tato, what do you think? Huh? He's just been running around, so excited, not really sure what to think, but that tail just keeps going. So my girlfriend was really amazing and brought over coffee and some mugs. This is the French press from my starter kit, and she unpacked some of the starter kits that came early. She just came over and unpacked everything, which was really amazing. So when my mom and I got here, all of this stuff was already here. She also stocked the fridge with some stuff. So oat milk, because that is my thing, gotta have it in my coffee, some sparkling water, and then some sparkling cider as well. And Tato has not been left out of the gift giving. He has a little treat here and a new little squeak toy. This starter kit came a little bit later than all of the other ones, so I just opened it and there's definitely a leak that happened. It was the shower gel, but it looks like it didn't really get on too much stuff, plus it also smells good, so you know, it could be a lot worse. I have to say though, I'm really glad that I decided to send out these starter kits, which were essentially just boxes filled with essentials like bedding, towels, cleaning supplies, Tato's stuff. So that way, when we arrived, everything would be here. And even though it was a little bit tricky packing all of the boxes, it definitely was not like inexpensive to ship everything, but at the same time it was way less expensive than buying all of this stuff brand new and then just having a bunch of extras. So I was able to take the things that I already have, ship them out to myself, and now they're all here and I get to use some of my favorite things, and I get to have coffee and just like little essentials like that that just make a place feel like home. Other starter kit items include dish soap and a sponge, hand soap, also have paper plates because I didn't want to pack anything that was going to be breakable, and I found these while I was packing and organizing things, so I figured this would be a good way to use paper plates. Even though they are not something that I use regularly, they are definitely gonna work out for this like interim period before things arrive. And then this is like Tato's little station that has happened over here. These are infused with CBD, and they were great for on the plane because Tato has anxiety just in general because he has like trauma from his past since he is a rescue, and he's really sensitive to loud noises. So he just kind of freaks out during takeoff and landing. So this was really helpful because he basically just snoozed and lounged. I've been in my new place for a couple days now, and it has been amazing. And today was really like the first day where there was kind of a little hiccup with the move. Honestly, it was something that was just really unpleasant and unnecessary. I got my car brought out to New York because I have a car lease. It actually worked out to be more practical to bring it out to New York and keep it for the remainder of the lease, which is less than a year, and actually be able to use my car instead of breaking the lease and then having to pay for breaking the lease, and I wouldn't even have my car. At least this way I'll get to test and see what it's like to have a car in New York. So maybe in the future, if I ever wanted to have a car, I would know what it's like. And I'll also be able to utilize it because I know that I at least have a couple trips that I'm going to be making in the fall. It'll give me this condensed period of time to really make use of my car. And I'm just excited to like test run it and see how it goes. My car was picked up by a car carrier and they drove it across the country, and the issue was not so much, you know, the driving across the country, it was the driver himself. He was just really hysterical, and I am intentionally using the word hysterical to describe a man because the word hysterical has been used so long to describe women who can't control their emotions. He called me yesterday and was really hostile on the phone, was yelling at me, was really upset when he said that the form of payment that I had was not accepted, even though the person who was his supervisor, who was coordinating everything, said that it was, and it was just this whole thing. But that ended up getting worked out. So he gave me a time frame for when he would be arriving today and where he would be dropping off the car. So I was prepared for that. This morning, I get a phone call right after waking up, and he's yelling at me on the phone, asking where I am, why I'm not there. And it's a good over an hour before he told me that he was going to arrive, and the location was like 15 to 20 minutes away. So he was just really mean, quite frankly, on the phone, and it was completely unnecessary and unacceptable, and was yelling at me on the phone, brought up something about me having a husband, which I thought was really weird because he was saying it in a condescending way, like it wasn't my car and that like my husband had purchased it for me or something. It was just weird. And so my girlfriend went with me to pick up the car because I was not gonna go alone. We went there, and first he told us a location that he was not in, so we had to drive around trying to find him, and luckily our Lyft driver was so nice and accommodating. He was great. And we eventually found him, and he was really rude when we met up with him and really short. And then after, he calls with a completely different tone because he thought that he had left his wallet in my car. So we looked in the car, there was no wallet, and it was just a weird experience. I felt like he was really trying to take advantage of me. I was just not having it. If this had been like several years ago, it would have been a way worse situation for me personally. But I think the practices that I brought into my life over the last few years, like meditation, learning how to pause, learning to just, you know, deal with situations with other people that are really uncomfortable, like this one, they still bother me, they still make me upset, but it's easier to let them go. And And I'm really grateful for that because I can feel myself starting to let that go, and I'm not, you know, letting it wreck my entire day. I thought today was going to be a nice, peaceful, rainy day of editing that would be pretty uneventful. I was wrong. I have been on the phone and emailing like crazy. I just got notice from the movers that my stuff is officially here in New York, but they could only give me tomorrow as a delivery date, but the time that they want to deliver is too late for the building, and the movers were supposed to give me 24 to 48 hours notice because there are logistics that have to be coordinated with the building, and they didn't do that. So now the next availability is next Tuesday, which is 6 days away. This is just one of those moments where no matter how much planning you do, you just can't control it. And so it's frustrating and also a bummer because my mom is scheduled to leave next Tuesday, and one of the main reasons why she came out to New York was to help me unpack. So now I think that we're gonna see if we can move her flight so she can at least stay for a couple more days to actually help with the unpacking. In addition to that news, I woke up this morning and discovered that my French press had a mysterious hole in it. It happened overnight. I don't know how that happened because it's been completely fine for all of these days, and this morning I discovered that when I poured boiling hot water in it, and it just came rushing out. And then another water moment today, the washer started leaking, just a pool of water all over the floor. Here in the laundry room, the dryer is working fine, but the machine is kind of askew right now because someone just came in to look at the machine and they pulled the machine away from the wall, which was helpful because this was just all flooded with water. There's some wet rags here to soak it all up. It's an issue with the actual machine, and there's something happening underneath, so a technician has to come in and check that out. And because we are so limited on towels, we used a mop to soak up the water, and that wasn't enough, so then my mom used her dirty clothes. She's a queen. After almost 2 weeks of being in New York City, my stuff is finally supposed to be arriving today. So I am currently deflating the air mattress that I have been sleeping on for almost the last 2 weeks, and I'm grateful for you, air mattress, but I'm ready for my real bed, I gotta say. All right, so everything is in my new place. I started unpacking the kitchen a little bit, and there's really just stuff everywhere. For the most part, everything looks pretty good. There's just a lot of organizing and sorting to do. There is one pretty big piece that got broken though, which is a bummer, and my mom is currently sweeping that up because it's a little bit of a danger because it's a big mirror. I'll actually show you. There's a huge crack that just comes all the way down, and then it's just shattered here at the bottom, and there was all of this glass that came out of the box when they unwrapped it. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with that. I put his leash on and then attached it to the leg of the couch so that way he could still walk around and see what was happening without getting stepped on and without, right now, stepping on glass. Look at this pile of paper. That is getting taller than the height of the kitchen counters. So all of this, my mom and I have been making piles for recycling. Over there, we already have a bunch of boxes that we have collapsed or need to be collapsed more, and all of that will be recycled. And then I am unpacking kitchen stuff. This is just part of it. I haven't put anything away in cabinets because I just want to be able to see what I have right now. And then I will figure out how to organize it all. And then this stuff right here is like stuff that I use on a more daily basis, so I'm just separating it so then I can put those in the dishwasher first. I also have my plates here too, so those will go in the dishwasher as well. In here, this is what it looks like with my desk in. And the table actually looks a lot smaller than I remember. It's funny how that happens, but there's a nice amount of space between the edge of the table and the bed. And what I'm planning to do is when someone is staying here, they will be able to use the table and they can like put their stuff on it. Here, there's some more stuff. And then this is what is currently on my bedroom floor right now. And it goes around the corner and also extends into the closet. I am currently trying to organize all of my clothing. I don't have a dresser right now, so that's a little tricky, but something that's really going to help me, these bins. My mom and I just went to Target, and I'm going to be putting my winter clothing in here, stuff that I am definitely not going to be touching for at least several months. These are bins that I keep my shoes in, and I really like these because they just help protect them, but they are really dirty from the move. It doesn't really show up that much on camera, but they're covered in like a gray film, so I'm gonna have to wipe these down. I have to say this has been a really interesting experience. I think moving is always kind of a testing experience because there are so many unknowns that just get thrown at you no matter how much you plan. There's always something that happens that you weren't planning for. Something breaks or something goes missing. Things that are often completely out of your control. And I'm just looking around my space right now and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I totally remember a time where I would not have cared to go through these boxes and get things organized, and I would have just left it a mess. And I can also remember a time not too long ago, maybe like a couple years, where seeing all of these boxes would have given me so much anxiety, and I would have rushed through the process and, you know, really just stressed myself out because I wanted everything to be perfect and organized. And then recognizing where I am now, where, you know, it's kind of a balance between the two. I think the difference is that I've learned to cultivate patience, and I've learned things through multiple moves, and I've grown over the years, and it feels really good. I'm really looking forward to putting my space together, not rushing the process, and really taking it step by step. I finally feel like I'm in a place in my life where I can enjoy this. I've just never enjoyed the, you know, moving process like this before. I've really been able to do that this time, even with all of the hiccups and all of the things that have happened, and I think that is so awesome. So I know that my unpacking just started and I'm probably going to encounter some more things, but I just wanted to say that now because it has been on my mind as I've been unpacking the kitchen. So with that, I am going to continue unpacking boxes and I'll catch up with you guys later. Hello. Shimmy's out the door. Let's go inside.